Big Steve?
Shout out Michael Bisman. Shout out to the listeners. Big Brain, Early Tease, Batista versus Oliveira. Early look at the betting odds, right? We're going to try and make some money with minimum tape, although I did tape quite a bit of this card right after the UFC. Did I win on the UFC last week? Yes, I did. It was good to put the other losing week behind where I just forced everything. How much money did I win? 1,250, almost exactly 2 units. But there's a big but, and you cannot lie. The other brothers can't deny. When I woke up, I lost a $900 boxing bet, and that pissed me off because I was like, that was it. That was the winning boxing bet and the big UFC for the comeback. And I didn't actually think I was tilted until I lost that boxing bet because it really ruined my Sunday. He almost put me off. He almost put me off the UFC completely. But yes, we rallied back and we profited. So let's get into it. Let's get a quick recap and we'll get into this card. That's why we're here. All right, so what did I bet on? I bet on Elif Tehran. So this chick, all right, the female Wilder. First time I bet against Rima Ayadi, she was a slight favorite. That's when I was, had my love for boxing last year. Barely favorite, wins every single round, knocks around round 6, right? Then I bet her in December against Patrice Ferreira, undefeated Olympian, Brazilian Olympian, $5 something underdog. I put half a unit, I win 2 units, 1.2K, whatever it was, more than that. And she almost knocks her out in round 1, drops her twice, knocks her out in round 5. Massive value, look favorite. So then they give her this Tyler Genson, a 35-year-old bum-ass Australian, right? They both fought Shawna Brown. Elif knocked her out in round 1. She was a massive underdog, short notice. Tyler lost a split decision to her, and she also got dropped. So there's not much tape, but the little tape that I find, she's old and whatnot. She's running away, not the greatest fighter. Look, and you always have to be careful. People are telling me, maybe you didn't think about, will Tyler run away? Will she hug and try not to get knocked out? Yeah, of course I did, man. I've been here for a long time. This is my 8-year betting. My under 1.5 record in UFC is unmatched. I think about all these things, especially when I'm on a bit of a downswing. I'm not going to just lock in an under without double checking everything. And this Taylor Genson, yeah, she kind of tries to play safe, but she still gets hit. And, Elif Tehran, she's super aggressive. She comes in. Even if she gets clinched, I think that's a bad move because she's going to be close to Tehran. And Tehran loves to muscle these girls around, push their head down and throw. And, yeah, I was like, I had a unit under 4.5 rounds. Most of her knockouts come under 4.5. This French chick was in the 6th round, which was 5.5 rounds. Close enough. And then I'm like, you know what? This is the bet. I've been losing boxing. If we go here, you see like losing, right? Losing. I've been losing boxing. And I'm like, this is the bet. This one feels like it's cashing. And I have to stick to my gut because my reads have been good. Even on the losing boxing bets, they've been good. I have to go extra. And I put another half unit. So it's a 900 bet. And I wake up and people tell me that it's a split decision. The Australian chick ran away the whole time. And that pissed me off. So we move on to Octagon, whatever, break even. I should have done better. I forced some underdogs. It is what it is. Pretty much no underdogs won whatsoever. And we go to the UFC. Right, so first bet, Lawrence Liu. A lot of people on Sung Rablo, whatever the fuck his name is, at chalk. I passed. I live bet Liu after round 2. I thought it was 1-1. He won in round 3, split decision, whatever. Nakamura, half a unit on him as an underdog. I just thought Salah is a bit sore. He runs away too much. I don't know. I just felt like I bet Nakamura as a massive underdog in Road to UFC, and I felt like he was kind of special. He had that killer instinct, and Salazar didn't. And he looked a bit green. But when round 3 started, right, this is how I know, like, I keep my confidence. I'm not on the losing on like a negative streak because I just felt in round 3 in my gut that Nakamura was going to knock him out. And my butterflies were building more and more. And I'm like, Brad, please knock him out because I can feel it. And he just killed him. And that gave me some confidence. I missed the Dominic Far fight. Khan Offley, this is where he went downhill, kind of. I'm like, man, Khan Offley has some value, bro. He's going to take down Yuzar. He's going to hit him. They're not that far apart. But I'm like, let's play it safe. How does Khan Offley win this fight without at least one takedown? So I played one takedown instead. Right, here we go. one takedown, 300 to win 216. And the guy, and I also thought about the handicap, minus 3.5, but it was minus money. And I'm like, you know what? I think Yizar could potentially finish him or even win a 30-27. And I pass on both the money line, I pass on his decision line, I pass on the handicap, and I go for one takedown. And the guy cannot get one takedown over Z, whatever the hell his name is, Yizar, and he just wins. And that pissed me off. That was a robbery too. And I was like, man, I know if I was on that, that would have not hit. Then we go to Jonathan McAuliffe. I'm like, man, I like Jonathan McAuliffe. I liked him the first time. It's getting to pick him again. I'm just going to trust my reads here. Again, I'm not washed. I'm just a little bit low on confidence because I keep getting bad luck, right? I bet Jonathan McAuliffe. He looks like shit in round one. I completely hedge out right before he subs him live. I'm like, man, I'm tilted now. I'm tilted. So I go to my friend's house, take my mind off things. I like Jacob Malkoun. I didn't play him. It is what it is. Then I played Cam Ronson round 1 and 2. He gets it done with a minute to go. I was like, you know what? As soon as it was a little bit sweaty, but as soon as Cody Brundage went for a takedown and failed, I'm like, this is over. Cam Ronson, really good on the ground, man. Like, it's funny. He's got all these bums. He's got all these bums that he's taking to a decision on the regional scene, and then he like gets back on Contender Series, gets a finish, and he finished his first 2 fights in the UFC. Yeah, sure, it's Cody Brundage, but there's worse guys on the regional scene who couldn't finish. So props to him. Like I love what Cam Ronson did. I love how he threw ground and pound. He didn't waste time going for subs. He just threw it, and he wanted to finish right then and there. He didn't want to go 2-0 up into round 3. He wanted to finish. So he cashed that beautiful under. So props to him. Bilal Alicana. I was going to go to the Vel with this. I was going to go ends around 1 and 2 again. It was better odds. I remember with Junior Tafa, I was going to play the under 1.5 against Tokos, and he ended second half of round 2. I felt the same thing would happen here. 40 seconds over. I didn't play it. I pussied out. I should have. Everyone was on Billy's sub. I kind of overlooked it. It is what it is. Salkin versus Malaki. I was going to play the under 1.5 here. I held off a bit because I thought only Quinlan had all the finishing upside, and if he does grapple, Jamie's never been subbed. Some of my sharp friends played the over in the Discord, but it is what it is. Like, they just love the overs. I love the unders. It's not like that scared me off or anything. But yeah, Quinlan, round 1 sub. Props to him. This one, Taliesin Teixeira. I had $50 on Taliesin round 1, takedown, and submission. Right, look at that. $50 to win 725. Gets him down in round 1, gets him down in round 2, and so much mount time, so much back control time. Couldn't get the takedown. That pissed me off. I'm still up, right? I'm up, but I'm negative because I lost so much money on the boxing that whatever I make in the UFC is just going to break me even. So I need a 2K minimum. So I'm like, man, that was it. Anyway, Mauricio Huffy Fiziev. A lot of money on Huffy. I didn't like anything pre. I'm just kind of half watching with my friends, and I'm like, man, what do we play here? I put it on the live bet, and Fiziev is a $1.40 favorite, and I'm like, man, the last little bit of that round, Huffy was landing on him. He busted him up. He's bleeding. He landed all the big shots. So I live bet Huffy to win. Where are we? 300 to win 546. Yeah, round 2 was kind of competitive. Knocks him out. That hit like crack. I'm up good now. Then I play Benoit Saint-Denis. Hooker ends round 1 and 2. This is the one. Benoit Saint-Denis going for submissions when he shouldn't. He had that finish a lot earlier in round 2. Kept going for that arm triangle choke. Then going to ground and pound, almost finishing him. Then going back to the arm triangle choke. Top it off, Herb Dean's in there. You just think he's going to call it. And he comes in just to say, keep fighting, keep moving. Herb Dean loves never stopping the fight. So thankfully that stops with 15 seconds to go. So we cash another one. So now we're like 1,300, and I have $1,000 on Lopez. No scorecards. If he gets a finish, I get 1.1K, almost 2 units. If he goes to decision, I get my money back. And if old mate Walk finishes him somehow, I lose. And honestly, after the PTSD I had with Charles Johnson last week getting finished by Perez for the first time in his career, I'm like, man, anything's possible. All the cappers are on this play. I fucking hate it. And I was sweaty. I was like, if worst case, please just go to decision. Give me my money back so I can have 1.2K. And that's what happened. And I was actually telling my friend, I was like, man, why is Lopez throwing these shitty kicks? He can't throw a kick for shit. It looks like he's never kicked a bag in his life. And then he goes and hurts his foot. In round 4, round 5, I was sweating. Turns out he broke both his feet. Props to him. Very, very tough guy. Again, 5-1 on the scorecards. I thought he was a little bit closer than that, but oh well. Maybe I could have played the over. You're basically just fading a Lopez finish, but whatever. 1.2 thousand. And when I look at this slate, honestly, I pretty much won every single bet, right? I lost $300 because I hedged McAuliffe. That's just because I'm in my state, my tilted state and my scared state, which I'm going to snap out of. So that's, Nakamura, Roston, McAuliffe. Taliesin sub was a great bet and only $50. Louis live bet, Huffy live bet. The only thing I lost was not going with the Count Offley money line or the Count Offley minus 3.5 handicap and trying to play it safe and losing $300. But that kind of gave me a bit of confidence. And I barely taped the card as well. So this is where we're at, like $4,800 lost in January. So I'm like, I'm not going to do it again like last year. I'm not going to have a losing January. And then I proceed to have the even worse January. So last year I was down January and February, and that was still less than the amount I lost in January. But if you see, it's mostly boxing. It's mostly like in tennis. I got carried away gambling on tennis. And then in February, I lose that Elite Turao knockout bet, and then whatever, kind of break even with the UFC. But doesn't matter. We're on now. I took a break yesterday. I just needed to. I said if I profit on the UFC, I'm just going to take a day off. Let me refresh my mind. I could feel like a little bit of stress and tilt in there. Pissed me off. All right, let's go through the comments. Icelandic Farts, you made it. Yes, you have, my friend. You're making it a lot these days. MMA Guy, shout out MMA Guy. Icelandic Farts. Big Steve, I don't know if you want to answer, but what do you think of lucrative MMA? I think he is a joke. Well, I'll always answer these questions. I'm not scared of the hard-hitting questions. What makes you think of him as a joke, my friend? I actually met Lucrative in person. He's a nice guy. He came to Melbourne. We caught up. We had a podcast together. Fiziev versus Gamrot. We went head to head. He picked Gamrot. He picked Fiziev. I picked Gamrot. I won. But yeah, he's a nice guy. What about him is a joke? If anything, his personality can be a little bit how you going. But that to me, I know a lot of English people, and that's kind of like the template personality. They're like that. But he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. And when he was when I was down, when I had to drop my units from 2K to 600, he reached out and he said, keep going. It's not, things will work out. So he's a nice guy. Breaking Bad, sup daddy, what's up? Regret not going bigger on Walk. He's a goat. Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. You would think Lopez would make some better adjustments, but is he actually as good as he claims? He's very cocky. I mean, look, his style. I don't want to talk too much about other cappers on the show, but his style is a bit out there. It's a bit, it's a bit reckless. It kind of reminds me of how I used to bet 3 years ago. And believe it or not, I used to make a lot more money. 3 years ago, I used to bet every single card. Just used to parlay things, this and that, and I used to make a lot more money. And he still does that. But it's a bit volatile because that 1 year that he lost last year, nothing was going his way. So I mean, he's good. He's profitable. He's profitable most years. He's very aggressive, and when it works for him, it works for him. We have a different betting style. I used to bet like that, and I decided it's not for me. I like to be more selective. But he keeps going, and when that kind of style works, you make a lot of money, right? When you're betting every fight. All right, let's get into the UFC now. So, as I said, I taped a lot of these fights because after the UFC, I was a little bit pumped. I was like, let's get ahead, and a few things stuck out, and we'll talk about it, right? No odds, right? No bets at the moment. For the other UFC, I had Lopez, no scorecards. For this, I have nothing. But let's see if some stuff has already moved since yesterday. Just opening up my fight odds. All right, Claudia Segula versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Look, I like me some Cachoeira. I've played her before. I like her against shitty grapplers. Maybe not so much great grapplers like Miranda Maverick, Jasmine Jasudavicius, but, one of my best favorite bets was Gina Mazzani back in 2021. That one hit like crack. I bet her against Junior Kim. I wish I bet her against Lipsky, man. That one hurt. But yeah, she's not. I don't mind it. Like, this Segula girl is awful. She's awful. She is a grappler by trade, but not good wrestling at all. Nothing, no good wins. She got ran through by Melissa Mullins, and Arena, props to her. She kind of looked improved against Arena Alexeyeva. She struck for like 90% of that fight. She had nice movement in and out. And when she needed to, round 3, she hit her first body lock takedown and just kind of stayed on top. Is Arena better than Zombie Girl? I don't think so. Honestly, I think more money is going to come in on Claudia. She's 27. She's young. She's an American top team. She used to be cute. I don't know what she did to her face. So yeah, that's where I'm at. For me, it's Zombie Girl or pass, but it's a bit rough, man. Zombie Girl is hittable too. Like Segula was with her improved striking. Can she kind of light up Cachoeira? But we'll see. All right. Sunday fights. I should tell you, he is cocky, but that's kind of part of his shtick on YouTube as well. Hound, the Zombie Girl Army, you're right. Jack MT. Zombie Girl KO, sprinkle, polish, no power. Yeah, I mean, you can always do that. That's kind of the way I'm leaning. All right, Muin Gaffarov versus Jakub Wiklach. Everyone's on Gaffarov, right? It was pick him yesterday. Now he's a slight favorite. I get it. I like the guy. I played him a few times. I played him on the regionals. He's got a lot of power, very explosive, very athletic, good wrestler, young, 29. His Nakamura fight aging well. I actually played him by KO there at an astronomical number. And the guy couldn't get it done. Unfortunate. Very close to drop Nakamura, like 3-4 times. But, yeah, I mean, I get it. He should be able to sprawl and brawl here. Obviously, the big issue here is instantly diving into a guillotine against Said Nurmagomedov, like instantly in the first minute. And it's like, what are you doing, bro? What are you thinking? That's his best path to beat you. And that's what you just did to him. And then he's crying. It's like, why are you crying? Like, everyone's grandma could see that was going to happen. But yeah, he's a bit gassy. He's a bit silly. And Jakub Wiklac's one of the best guillotines. To me, he fights like the Polish Oliveira. Like, he pulls guard. He can be dropped. There's a lot of issues with his game. But, he wins. He's the champion, KSW champion. He beat Sebastian Prisbic 4 times. 3 times and lost once. Got knocked out to the body. And a lot of the times he was losing to Sebastian. And then he kind of got saved. He got saved in this draw. He fought this Jojua guy who is like a Georgian grinder. It was a back-and-forth fight. He got dropped by him too. And, yeah, he's just a messy fighter. But against Patchy Mix, he won that. But it was just a typical super washed-looking Patchy Mix. And he looked bad there too. His gas looked worse than KSW, for example. So, I don't know. You could probably assume that he's going to look a little bit better than the Patchy Mix fight. But I guess I still don't Gaffarov. I mean, stay out of the guillotine, stay out of the scrambles, but I need to tape some more. I know even against Kong Hyo Kan, he got mounted. He was making some mistakes. So it makes sense why this is pick 'em. It really does. Alrighty. Any more comments? Icelandic fights, you like the under. Moin has IQ 68, but he's a side. Vika shows up. Thoughts on his back hair patch? I mean, what do I say about it? Not sure. What do I say about it? It's nice, I guess. I haven't looked at the totals. Let me look at the total. Segula, 2.5 rounds over. Interesting. Gaffarov, under 2.5 rounds plus money. Yeah, that could be the spot. Alrighty. Kong Wang versus Eduardo Mora. I'm interested in Mora, man. I don't understand why so much money is coming on Kong Wang. Mora's striking is improving. It's she had a good competitive fight versus what's her name, Veronica Hardy. All right, the Gomez fight was a bad look. Still a split decision. Veronica Hardy, and then she beat Lauren Murphy, but I think there was some issues near the end of that fight. She got caught in some trouble. I was actually at my competition competing, so I didn't watch the last round, but that's probably why this line is where it's at. Obviously, Kong is live to knock her out, but I'm not too impressed with her. She's not too bad at grappling. If you look at some of her early tape before the UFC, she has a guillotine and whatnot. She got submitted by Fernandez because she got dropped badly. But yeah, I mean, it's a dog pass for me. This is before tape, of course. Let's move on. I don't really trust, in terms of unders, I don't really trust Kong Wang to finish just because she's a really bad finisher. What's the under? Yeah, over -200 makes sense. Said Nurmagomedov versus Javid Basharat, the shitter Basharat, brother. And I liked Said at +130 yesterday, but because I took a break, I didn't want to see any odds. I didn't want to see any betting. I wanted to clear my mind. Yeah, now he's what? Pick him? Not pick him, but I almost pick him. Barely slight any plus money. And, he obviously has those gassing issues. Can he, finish Javid Basharat? I mean, if Ricky Simone can finish you, maybe. But I think he's very live to win round one, Saeed. I don't think Javid Basharat has beat anyone on Saeed's level. I have to tape it. I taped a bit of Saeed because, there's overlapping fights. So I taped some Lock Dog Oliveira against Saeed and Saeed versus Gaffarov. But I didn't refresh with Javid. But I know Javid is a bit hittable. He's a bit reckless. I've tried to fade him before. But this could be, it just depends, man. What will Saeed do? And Saeed, Saeed gets broken a lot with the grinding and the grappling game plan. But yeah, Javid can wrestle, but he's not as physical as some of these other guys. To me, it's still a dog or pass. Maybe this line should be flipped. Maybe on the pure level of competition, Saeed should be slight favorite. All right, let's move on. Katlin Souza versus Bruno, Brazil. Wow, this was also a pick. Katlin Souza, a lot of money's coming on her. That's interesting. Can anyone fill me in why that is happening? No idea. The MMA guy. Kong Wang not finishing Lipsky on one leg was insane. Leg was, yeah, she's an awful finisher. Not finishing Wu Yang on the regionals. I played her KO versus Victoria Leonardo, and I remember it was a small bet because I just can I even trust this girl to finish Victoria Leonardo? Jacked MT. I took Saeed 220. He struggled with pressure, but Bash not that sort of fighter. Yeah, that's probably a good bet. BMNG06. Steve, what's up? Tyler Betts. Yo, what's up, Tyler Betts? Saeed almost always wins round one, yeah, but he always gasses round three. I mean, yeah, thanks, Captain Obvious. MMA guy, Brazil plus 140 is the side. Yeah, I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get. I mean, let me refresh Katlin Souza. Both these girls are not amazing. She lost to Pierre Rodriguez. She lost to Angela Hill. 2 split decisions. I mean, it's going to be a shit show of a fight, right? Brazil is just going to run away. Katlin's going to force the fight. I don't have any interest to take this one. All right, let's move on. Nikolai Rotennikov versus Nico Price. Wow, where was this fight? This came out of nowhere. It wasn't there when I even looked at fights yesterday. So what are the odds? We don't probably have anything, right? No. Who's going to be the favorite here? Wow. Probably a competitively blind fight. Rotennikov had that win over Prado, which he almost fucked up multiple times. All right, and then Punahele Soriano laid on him. He gets laid on, but Nico Price doesn't lay on anyone. Nico Price lost to Jacoby Smith, lost to Temba. Beat Morono in the middle there. Yeah, shit show. No odds. Let's move on. Dustin Jacoby minus 200 over Julius Walker. Yeah, this is interesting. Some people are playing Dustin Jacoby. I don't know if I trust the guy at this age, at this point in his career, 37. Super hittable, always been super hittable. The chin is kind of going a bit. Lost to Alonzo Manifield because he was dropped many times in the fight. Julius Walker, is a bit of a nothing burger, but he's 26, quite young for light heavyweight, and he almost beat Alonzo Manifield. I think that was on short notice, right? Almost beat Alonzo, and you would think Alonzo would be an awful matchup for him. Couldn't get any takedowns going, not much power, but he was still just swinging enough. He was just fighting hard enough to gas out Alonzo, make it a war. I know he has a really good chin, but I do know that Rafael Coquera still cracked him a few times. So I don't know, man. Minus 200 on Dustin Jacoby. Maybe if I tape it and Julius looks really, really bad, but I know Jacoby also has decent takedown defense, but he has been taken down before. He went to split with Ion Kurlaba. That's an awful look. I remember I bet him big against Maxon Grisham. Lucky to win that one. I felt very fortunate. Got dropped by Maxon. Yeah, I mean, tough click to minus 200. What are the totals? Under 2.5 is plus money. That's minus money, right? Okay, so they're expecting a finish. Interesting. All right, I just realized I skipped Alex Morono versus Danily Donchenko. Yeah, I mean, massive favorite. Morono's completely washed. The under 1.5, it's kind of sticking out. It reminds me of the Quinlan Salakid fight against Malaki. Obviously, all the finishing is on the Danili side. Maybe it's better just to play Danili round 1, round 2, but like in the Salkill fight, it wasn't. It was not worth it. The odds were better on the under 1.5, so maybe I just get in on the under 1.5 there. But Morono can be very evasive and run away and whatnot. So Hound, Ketlin is favourite because Bruno is soy. Yeah. Juice better. I was just about to go to sleep. Perfect. Oh, nice. Thanks for being in here, mate. Thanks for the support. Bring in some more of your minions. Nikolai is so retarded, but he will 100% be fave. Price is washed. Yes. Walker is a bum. He's striking so sloppy. Yeah, I mean, it's all price dependent. All price dependent. Alrighty. Gene Matsumoto, Farid Basharat. Yeah, Gene, massive underdog. Look, it's dog or pass, I guess. But Farid, this is the good brother. This is the good brother, and he generally just a really high level minute winner. High level minute winner. Obviously, this is going to go over 2.5 rounds. Gene Matsumoto had a really competitive fight with everyone, pretty much. Rob Font, Miles Johns, Brad Katona, Dan Agueda until the guillotine. Not a good look. Not a good look. The kid's good, but he just keeps it competitive, man. He keeps it competitive. And Farid, I thought Farid is pretty much a lock until he gets to the rankings. But correct me if I'm wrong, he got dropped by Chris Gutierrez of all people. So that, I don't know if he was compromised in that fight. But, he beat better guys than Tyler Leplis and Damon Blackshirt before Chris Gutierrez. So that was strange. Yeah, I mean, the dog will pass, pre-tape. It's going to be a competitive fight, you would think. Let's move on. Michael Olizenchik versus MAB. Right, he's a massive favorite. I think people think Michael Andre Barrio is going to get knocked out. It makes sense. His chin was cracked. Bunch of round 1 knockouts in a row. Then he gets a wash, Bruno Silva, and he goes to war with Sharon Magomedov and breaks his nose. Both these guys fought Magomedov. They both lost. They both kind of were in a war. They didn't get really blown out, but they did. Like MAB, as I said, he broke Sharon's nose, fully destroyed it. Mikhail was coming forward. He was landing, but by the end of the fight, he was also destroyed. So, yeah, if this kind of gets at around 1, maybe Mike Andre Barriel can make it a war. Like, if his chin holds up, he's going to have the better cardio. So, it just depends. Depends how you want to play it. But Lord Mikhail at middleweight, he's made it a bit easier for himself. That's for sure. Alrighty, Jalton versus Kuniev. This is an interesting one. Kuniev come in, almost beat Blades in his debut, almost won, and probably shot himself I think he's in the ranking anyway, not on Topology, but if Teixeira's in the ranking after beating Tafa, you would think Kuniev is too. Yeah, this is an interesting fight. He's never been finished, Kuniev. He's fought Henan Ferreira. Yeah. I mean, no one else good, but Curtis Blades, and he just seems extremely durable. Obviously, hard to sub. He might have been finished. Let me have a look. I think maybe he did get finished once. Nah. Fought Darko Stosic and Jalil Willis. They obviously grappled him, right? I watched the Stosic fight just to see how his chin is, if his looks is cracked at all, but he wasn't. So, Jalton Almeida is going to try a grapple. I think Jalton early is, man, he can grapple anyone. You see how he's throwing around Curtis Blades. He threw around a 265-pound Alexander Romanov. Obviously, Spivak as well. Obviously, Volkov, which is not that much of an issue. But even though this guy is 230 pounds, he's so explosive, so big. His double legs are brutal. So I think he can get Kuniev down. Kuniev was taken down by Curtis early, but he just worked his way right back up. And at some point early, Curtis did his ACL. So it's like, how would his wrestling be if his ACL wasn't cooked? But yeah, this is interesting fight. Maybe Almeida can have some success early. I think he's the faster, more fluid striker. I think his striking is improving. I mean, knocking out Spivak, he's not the first one to do it, but it's aging well after old mate Waldo Acosta couldn't do it for 3 rounds. Yeah, interesting fight, man. Interesting fight. I'm kind of leaning Kuniev because I just don't think he's going to get finished. If he gets taken down, I don't think he's going to get finished. I don't think he'll be knocked out. Henan Ferreira was on top with an arm triangle choke for a bit, but he got out of it. And that was a no contest because Rizwan Cunha was on the entire pharmacy for that fight. Entire pharmacy. So I don't know, interesting fight. So my boy Evan asked me in the Discord, do I like the over 1.5? I'm gonna say yes. I don't even know what the odds are. If it's better than minus 200, oh yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, I like that over 1.5. I like that over 1.5. Now it should be said, Cunha is kind of has underrated power, so wouldn't be surprised if he's the one that busts this over 1.5 rounds because he landed some stuff on blades. I'm like, oh man, this guy can actually crack. And a lot of people playing him by KO. I was like, man, that's a bit of recency bias, just because blades have been KO'd a bunch. But interesting fight, man. Interesting. You either play this safe and wait for the live bet because I just feel like Jarlton will take him down, and then you just see how his cardio holds up. All right, Koji Hiraguchi, Amir Albazi. I don't want to overthink this one. I think Koji is a parlay piece. I just don't think Albazi's that great. Koji looked amazing against, in my opinion, a washed Ulanbekov. But yeah, I mean, he's a parlay piece, and the line's already moving. This one, Vinicius Oliveira, Mario Batista. I take this one the most. And I think there's a few things that are off in this fight. I think Vinicius Oliveira has some value. And I think the over has some value. So the over 4.5 rounds is plus money. So tell me why that is. Is it because Mario Batista is a crazy finisher? Or because maybe Vinicius Oliveira is a crazy finisher and Mario, has been knocked out in the UFC, finished by Trevin Jones of all people, and then Corey Sandhagen, but he was dropped first, right? He's finished a bunch. Vinicius Oliveira has, you could say he's kind of chinny. He's been knocked out 3 times, right? So maybe, but if you just watch their fights, and it makes no sense. Mario can't finish Patchy Mix, who just no defense. He's just eating shit for 15 minutes straight. Ricky Simone, shitty guy, didn't finish him. Guido Conetti, Brian Kelly, who cares? Jay Perrin couldn't finish him. So to me, it's like this probably ends up being a 5-round war. I don't know why Mario Batista's minus 200, other than maybe he has better cardio. He doesn't really have a good win. What's his win? His best win is Jose Aldo, a near retirement Jose Aldo, which was a split decision. A lot of people argue that he didn't even win it. And after that, Ricky Simone, I don't rate that win at all. Vinicius Oliveira beat him as well. I don't think Ricky Simone ever should have been in the ranking. If you can shut down his wrestling and expose his chin, is quite easy to beat. So there's no one there that's good. Patchy Meeks, I think this line is where it's at because he landed he landed a stepping knee and dropped Umar, and that's kind of aging well, But that's it. I think Vinicius, I don't think his cardio is as bad as people say. He's got a round 3 KO over Bernardo Sopai. He got grappled there a bit. I think people are saying he has a grappling flaw to exploit, but he did well against Ricky Simone. He did well against Saeed to stuff things and get up, and he just pushes through. So I would rather play, if you like Mario Batista, I would rather play the over a plus money. I've never seen Vinicius that gassed where he's going to fall apart in rounds 3 or 4 or something. Right? Obviously, he's never gone 5 rounds. I think he had a few title challenges in UAE Warriors. Let me have a look. But they never went long. I think Ali Taleb was a 5-rounder, but he got knocked out in round 3. So, yeah. Dogger pass for me and the total at plus money. So those are the 2 things that are sticking out. What do we got? MK. Under 1.5 open at plus 160. I mean, I don't really care about openers, man. I don't touch him. I can't touch him, and it is what it is. Mario doesn't have power. Yeah, he's got underrated power, but not much. Lock dog finish only. I don't think I'm that confident, honestly. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Mario finished him late or something attritionally, because he does. I think Vinicius could have chin issues, but I don't want to bank on it. Pirate, time to lock. Yes, time to lock indeed. I think there's been too many weeks where I haven't been locked. Hence the position that I'm in. All right. Quickly go over it. Priscilla, I kind of lean her. Gaffarov, Vichlak, I guess the under's good. I guess Gaffarov, but feels a bit mush now. Mora over Wang, like just Wang at this price, no thank you. Against the grappler, Saeed or pass, I guess. Bruna, I mean, what's the over on the Bruna Brazil fight? Let me have a look. If it's not as bad as minus 200, I'm playing that shit. it is what the fuck is it? Oh, it's way worse than -200. Yeah, I guess Bruno will pass. Daniil Deschenko under 1.5 rounds probably. Jacoby Walker, I mean, shit show. Gene and Dog will pass, I guess. Mikal, he should knock out Barrier, just live bet it. Same as Almeida. I think Almeida should have some success over Cunha. If he doesn't, just live bet it straight away. Koi G should be a parlay piece. And Aline Vincius and Aline the over plus money. So that's where we're at. Alrighty. Peace out. Thanks for listening. Hopefully I get time for a podcast end of the week. Didn't have it last week. And good luck.